Good morning, YouTube. What is going on, guys? Hope you are all doing wonderful. God bless America. All right, so we got the E92 M3 in the garage. Today we are working on a fun one, man. I'm really excited about this. I've been waiting for this product to come out for a while from the guys over at Ridgeline Motorsport, but I have the old GT4 style lip on this car. Not functional, just a carbon piece that's basically bolted into the front of the bumper. However, we are gonna be changing that up, man. This is the new Ridgeline GTS splitter, and this is 100% functional. They made brackets to bolt up to the chassis. We do have this metal brace back here. Got some rib nuts in it. I'm assuming that that's going to tie into our splitter and our chassis mounts. And then we also have this piece up top, which is the carbon lip portion. You can do this entire kit either in plastic or carbon. I decided to go carbon. And then you have the functional splitter down below. This is very similar to how the functional splitter on my M4 GTS was. Like, almost looks identical outside of the actual shape of it, but you have adjustment points so you can slide it all the way out, push it back in. And yeah, I think that overall this is going to be a really, really good setup, man. This is definitely the most common lip that you see on these E90, E9X M3s is the GT4 style lip. They've got like the V1 and the V2. This is the V1, so it's the longer one. I've also had the V2, which is the shorter one. Nothing really wrong with it. It's just not functional and everybody has it. So we're doing something a little bit different that is functional, and at this point really nobody has. There's maybe a couple of cars in the country that have this exact kit on it, but I'm really excited to do this. Big shout out to the guys over at Ridgeline Motorsport. If you guys are interested in any of their products, I'm going to put the discount code up on the screen. I believe it's Thick Whips. That'll get you 5% off. This will be linked down below. They also make my GT4 wing that is on the back, which I really, really like. Super, super nice wing. Recently, I actually went in and took off the inside panel and put a steel brace in between the middle of these two mounts. This thing is super solid. Like, it is going nowhere. Very, very good products for a fraction of the price. Stuff like this is very motorsport inspired. I would say it's relatively popular here in the US, but much, much, much more popular over in Germany and like the ring tool cars. You'll see a lot of these style of builds, which is really just kind of what I've been leaning towards lately. I'm actually going to be taking the E88s off of the 1 Series and I'm putting the E88s on here. I think they're going to fit this car really, really well. Got some different wheels coming for the 1 Series. Not going to tell you what they are, but I think you guys will enjoy them. Nonetheless, let's get into the install of this. Like I said, this is going to be the first time that I've ever installed one of these. There really isn't any information online on how to install this, so it's going to be a bit of discovery for us. Comes with hardware, comes with a little bit of tape. I'm not sure if I'm going to be using this tape or my own tape. Got hardware here and everything we need. Super excited to get this installed. Let's go ahead and start the process. All right, old lip is off the car, and so this was actually pre-rib nutted, so you just basically have threads already inside of the lip itself, and you just screw these bad boys in, and that's basically how it's secured, with an addition of 3M tape, of course, across the top. But the lip is actually in perfect condition. There's nothing wrong with it. Just has some scraping underneath, pretty much to be expected on any sort of lip. But yeah, no cracks, no bends, nothing like that. So this thing is still in pretty good condition. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull the bumper, and then I'm actually going to be pulling the ducting as well. This part connects to these, this part connects to the splitter, this part connects to the bumper, and then it all sort of fits together. But you do have to do a little bit of cutting on the bumper on the inside to make sure these frame brackets fit. So there's a little bit of customization with this, but let me pull the bumper, show you guys what we're working with. It'll be a lot easier to explain. All right, so we have a bunch of things removed. Like you guys saw, we took off the wheels, took off the front bumper, took off the ducting, we took off the fender well, obviously, on each side. And the reason we need to do that is because in order to mount these chassis brackets, this is where they actually mount up. So if you can see, our bracket goes on right like that. There is an existing hole up here, and then we have 2 holes right here as well. And then we'll be making a couple of holes right here in the front of this piece as well. So this part up here in the front is going to require a little bit of shaving on the bumper in order to clear this bracket. I'll show you guys what I end up shaving, but these brackets right here are what allow us to mount this piece right here, which then connects to our splitter right here. So it goes brackets onto here, this piece onto here. So with that being said, if these parts on your car are not perfectly aligned, that will offset the splitter and it won't look even or perfect. So just want to make sure that you have these aligned properly before doing this. You should be good as long as the car hasn't been in any type of accident or anything like that. And if you guys are running the MLT under tray, you should be good. You shouldn't have to shave this at all. This whole kit fits with this under tray. However, if you're running like the factory felt under tray, you will probably have to shave some of that. So this is not just like a bolt up application. Like there are some customizations that you need to make if you want to run a functional style splitter. This whole design is basically modeled off of the M3 GTS car. So there are going to be some things that you're going to have to manipulate a little bit in order to make this work on an everyday street E92 M3. All right, so with that being said, let's go ahead and get these brackets onto the car. You can see the bracket lines up just like this. I'm going to use the existing screw right here that typically would bolt into our ducting system, and I'm just going to put this in to hold everything in place. Get these 2 lined up on the side. That will kind of give us an idea of where we need to drill over here for the 3 bolts that we have to put in holding on this side. All right, so to give you guys an idea of what we're doing, we have the supplied hardware. This is a 4mm Allen head screw. We have a washer, right? Go through here, go in just like that. And then we have a nylon nut. It's a 10mm. It's gonna go on the opposite end. Second one down below. A little bit easier to access. All right, those 2 are in. All right, so the fitment on this is literally perfect. It's like really, really well machined. Everything fits perfectly. Remember, we are gonna pull this back out after we do the drilling right here. I'm using a very, very, very small bit, cobalt, to go through the metal. Just gonna do some pilot holes, really. 1, 2. Pilot holes are drilled, and now we're gonna send in our hardware. This is all supplied hardware with this kit. These are 8mm. This goes into the ducting plastic piece for the bumper, so take this back out. This piece is awesome. The fact that they fabricated this, they made this to work with these cars in order to run a functional splitter is so cool to me. I love that. Everything fits perfectly. Very, very clean cuts all the way through. Lines up flawlessly. Hardware supplied. Really does not get much better than that. All right, so I figured this is probably a good point to show you guys where we are at. We've got both brackets on the car. This is the driver's side. All the hardware is in. These are the mounting points for the top of the running bar that connects to the splitter. Then of course, passenger side gives you guys a good idea of how this mounts up. Fits really, really nicely. Super easy and straightforward to install. And now it is time to throw on this piece. Now this piece connects to our splitter. So these holes in the bottom are what align with the splitter portion. So technically it would be like this. Splitter would be flipped upside down right now, but basically it would be like this underneath the car. So this piece is going to go like that, from over there to over there with the hardware supplied. And then that way we're able to connect our splitter underneath. So let's go ahead and get this secured. All right, so now I'm up top, just kind of eyeing everything down. Sorry for the fan, you guys. It's just super hot in here. But I'm basically just eyeing everything up, making sure it's even before I tighten this all down. Because remember, this is going to dictate how the splitter is going to sit underneath the bumper. So we want this to be as even as possible. Basically just going from edge to edge, making sure that all of these look about the same. And I think we're good. We're gonna send it. So badass, dude. I love it. I love that this is just connected to the chassis. The designing and the engineering is on point with this. Super, super sturdy, you guys. Like, putting my whole weight on this thing. Ain't going nowhere. Going through the lip fitment right now. Getting taped on, a couple of self-tappers. It's really good. All of these are in. I added 2 on the sides right here. Pull it up. Bing, 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 bing. Add another one right there. Right there. Now remember, this is going on top of the splitter. So this isn't really something that's going to be taking a lot of downforce. Just want to make sure it's nice and snug and it fits well to the bumper. But at this point, we should be able to put the vents back into the car. All right, bumper is loosely on, just put these 2 in. And now we gotta figure out where we are going to be doing some cutting. So underneath the car, you can see our new frame brackets. This is where they hit the bumper. And now we're gonna be dremeling out this whole area so we can clear these brackets. I'll just mark it right now while it's on the car and chop it out. So, that's where it hits. Basically just make a slit. I don't think I'm gonna cut that large, but you get the idea. All right, bumper is on. Did a little bit of cutting and readjusting a few times, but finally got it good. You have to cut pretty deep. Just a heads up, you'll probably take the bumper on and off a few times to get it right, but nothing too crazy. You can do it with a blade or scissors. Super easy to cut through. Now I'm going to fasten the splitter and make sure that everything is proportionate before I put any other under tray on or anything like that. We may have to loosen some things up here, so we want to be able to access it. That's why we're not putting on the under tray or any of that stuff. So that's how it sits. There's recessed portions on the bottom of the splitter. That's how you know that this is the bottom and not the top. Splitter is all secured. Flawless fitment. Looks absolutely perfect. Yeah, this looks so good. It looks so good on this car. It's time to reassemble everything, throw the skid plate back on. Okay, time to finish this one off. Car is back together. Everything is settled. Yeah, looks really, really good. Super, super sturdy. Don't ever have to worry about this thing flying off on road or track. It is officially chassis mounted. Thing is freaking on there, dude. It's crazy. Looks extremely good. So this is the GTS splitter and I guess lip combination that you do from Ridgeline Motorsport. Like I said before, have a discount code for you guys. Thick Whips, 5% off. Looks really, really good. A little bit more in depth when it comes to installing this lip, obviously, and splitter, being that it is chassis mounted and you have to adjust some things, modify some things. But I think overall, when it comes to functionality and style, I really, really like it. Very, very motorsport-esque, which is exactly what I'm going for. And so obviously we also have adjustment points with this. I can pull it out, push it in. It's a little bit far in right now in my opinion, but before I go to the track, I don't even need to jack this thing up. I can just get underneath there and hit all of those Allen screws, pull it out, tighten them back up. It's exactly like my M4 GTS, exact same setup. And man, this is just so good on this car. It's just perfect. This is exactly what the car needed. Really, really loving the Ridgeline Motorsport products, being that everything is club sport inspired and more motorsport driven. They just have really good quality stuff for the amount that you pay. Lots of cool products that I would recommend from those guys. And they have some more stuff coming out too that's really exciting to check out. But everything fit perfectly with this. Super, super happy with the outcome. And hopefully this install helped you guys. If you're interested in buying it, I'll have a link down below. That'll officially wrap this one up. I will see you in the next one. Peace.